Greetings to all lovers of mystery and secrets. Antarctica is the most mysterious continent on our planet. Its vast area and harsh climatic conditions make it still largely unexplored, hiding many secrets. For 200 years, scientist explorers have been investigating the enigmatic Antarctica. During this time, they have learned a lot about the mysterious continent. In this video, I will talk about incredible findings discovered in Antarctica. Number 1. The Loch Ness Monster from Antarctica. Everyone knows the famous mythical monster that may inhabit Loch Ness in Scotland. While most scientists are skeptical about the existence of this monster, the enormous monster from Antarctica, which lived many years ago, is a proven fact. In 1989, near Seymour Island in Antarctica, paleontologists found the remains of a gigantic creature with an incredibly long neck. For a long time, they debated about the identity of the found bones. It took researchers more than 20 years to extract all the remains. They retrieved over 800 kilograms of bones from the ancient monster. Only after that could scientists properly describe it. They named it the Loch Ness Monster from Antarctica. It turned out to be the largest elasmosaur, at least among those found to date. This swimming monster was over 10 meters long. Representatives of this species became extinct tens of millions of years ago. Most likely, elasmosaurs could prey on sharks. This discovery suggests that incredible creatures once inhabited Antarctica, and perhaps still do. Number 2. The Lost Atlantis is beneath the ice of Antarctica. This is one of the quite popular theories about where to look for the ancient mythical city. This hypothesis was proposed by American scientist Charles Hapgood in his book, with an introduction written by none other than the famous Albert Einstein. According to Hapgood, 12,000 years ago, a shift in the Earth's crust occurred, causing the continent we now call Antarctica to move much further than it was before. This event led to a sharp drop in temperatures in Antarctica. But before the crustal shift, according to the scientist, the continent had a very comfortable climate, and it was home to the ancient advanced civilization of Atlantis, which was later buried under kilometers of ice. Number 3. Giant hole in Antarctica. In 2017, researchers discovered something strange in satellite images of Antarctica. It turned out to be a massive hole in the ice. To understand how huge it is, just imagine two Switzerlands put together. That was the size of the found opening. This is not the first case in history when scientists managed to find a large area of open water surrounded on all sides by ice. The complex weather conditions in Antarctica make it almost impossible to study such unknown holes. Scientists still do not fully understand why such mysterious phenomena form. Adding to the mystery is the fact that, according to researchers, climate change is unlikely to be related to the formation of giant holes in the ice. Number 4. Ancient meteorites. Thanks to the very cold and dry climate in Antarctica, meteorites that fell many years ago are well preserved. Plus, they are easier to find because they stand out against the snowy landscape. Over the past 50 years, scientists have discovered more than 40,000 meteorites in Antarctica. And this is considering that the continent is simply enormous, and only a small part of it has been explored. The large number of meteorites and the limited exploration lead many people to believe that if flying saucers or traces of extraterrestrial life can be found anywhere, it will certainly be in Antarctica. A large number of films and books on this topic only fuel such interest. However, scientists, accustomed to drawing conclusions based on facts rather than speculation, remain skeptical about such conspiracy theories. Number 5. Unexpected creatures under a kilometer-thick layer of ice. As the character in the movie Jurassic Park said, life always finds its way. In the dark waters, almost a kilometer deep under the ice, you might expect to find many things, but definitely not living organisms, as the conditions in such a place are incompatible with life. Usually, geologists drill the ice in Antarctica to take samples of ice and rocks. However, under the thick layer of ice, incredible species of squids, spiders, toothy worms, and completely transparent fish are sometimes found. One of the discoveries was made quite recently. In 2021, during research at almost a kilometer depth under the ice, scientists found a huge rock to which previously unknown creatures were attached. They resembled sponges. These are aquatic organisms that attach to rocks. For an ordinary person, the discovery of these small creatures may not sound like a big sensation. After all, they are not megalodons, extinct shark species, or yetis. However, considering that researchers could not even imagine the possibility of life for such organisms in such conditions, what discoveries can they expect in the future? Moreover, if such creatures manage to survive in such inhospitable conditions, theoretically, they could continue to live on other planets. For example, on Mars. Number 6. Bloody Waterfall. This is the name given to a remarkable phenomenon discovered in Antarctica over 100 years ago. Don't be alarmed, it has nothing to do with actual blood. Initially, researchers linked this phenomenon to red algae. However, it was later found that microorganisms inhabiting one of the subglacial lakes were the cause. Thanks to them, the water in this lake is rich in iron oxide. The water seeps out through small cracks in the ice, creating such a spectacle. In addition to the red glacier, scientists found pieces of ice with a bright green color. Initially, they struggled to understand the true cause of this phenomenon, but eventually, they identified the substance that gave the ice such a unique color. Number 7. Unusually shaped iceberg. Water and wind can give massive floating chunks of ice the most unusual shapes. However, researchers were greatly surprised when they were able to capture an absolutely rectangular piece of ice in Antarctica from an airplane. Later, scientists found out that this rectangular iceberg had recently broken off from the glacier, and wind and water had not yet had time to give it a more natural, familiar shape. Number 8. Volcanoes. Despite the extreme cold in Antarctica, there are several volcanoes. The most famous of them is Mount Erebus. It is the southernmost active volcano on the planet. Scientists have been closely monitoring this volcano for the last 50 years. Lava lakes are located in Erebus's crater. Mount Erebus is located at the intersection of tectonic plates and is one of the most active volcanoes on Earth. Periodically, powerful emissions of deep gases occur from these plates. Due to harsh weather conditions and its remote location, scientists cannot visit it very often. However, during rare expeditions, they manage to discover living organisms that inhabit inside the volcano. Number 9. Singing ice. It might sound insane if scientists working in Antarctica had not come to this conclusion. According to them, it is similar to a person playing a flute continuously but not changing the notes much. Most of these sounds are difficult for the human ears to hear, but special instruments can record them. This phenomenon is caused by external forces constantly acting on the ice, temperature changes, or wind. And this is what makes them produce mysterious sounds. Number 10. The oldest ice on Earth. Where else could it be but in Antarctica? Researchers have found glaciers there that are over 1 million years old. Almost 3 kilometers of ice depth. A number that is hard to comprehend. Considering that everything is well preserved in the ice, including living organisms, imagine the discoveries that await scientists. Number 11. Ice Cavern. Several years ago, NASA specialists found a huge cavern in the glacier. According to their calculations, this cavern is the size of a large island. Most likely, this giant space inside the ice formed in the last few years due to melting. So far, scientists have only been able to explore this cavern using radar, but work is ongoing. Number 12. Subglacial lakes. Over the last 50 years, with the help of radar, scientists have discovered about 400 lakes under the ice in Antarctica. They are located several kilometers beneath the ice. Only now are scientists gaining the opportunity to truly study these lakes and the microorganisms and creatures that have managed to survive under kilometers of ice in the absence of sunlight and nutrients. Number 13. Remains of dinosaurs and other ancient creatures. As mentioned earlier, Antarctica was once a much warmer continent than it is today. In those times, huge and amazing creatures inhabited the region, including prehistoric iguanas, dinosaurs, and even dinosaur ancestors. Recently, researchers discovered in Antarctica the remains of a dinosaur ancestor that is over 250 million years old. A figure that is hard to wrap your head around. What other incredible finds can scientists make on this snowy and little explored continent remains to be seen. Number 14. Mysterious cosmic phenomena. Antarctica is an excellent place for scientists studying space and the movement of celestial bodies. Many of the cosmic particles detected in the observatory above Antarctica still raise questions for scientists. Nevertheless, the history of our planet is much more interesting than it is presented to us. Share this video with your loved ones so that they can learn the truth, and don't forget to subscribe, as there are many fascinating studies ahead of us. Thank you for your attention, and see you in the new videos.